The Venetian, $1,100, $3.5 million guaranteed Flight 1D. Went to register, saw a buddy walking towards me to inform me that there's 450 alternates, 120 of them have been seated, so there's 300 people ahead of me. So if I registered now, I'd have to wait for 300 people to lose. Doesn't sound like fun, and I'd be coming in with about 20 blinds, $1,100. Wasn't excited to play here to begin with, so we are out of the Venetian, going with Plan B, the Wynn 550, 100K one day. If I bust that, I will be going to the Rio to play the dailies. That's right, I love poker. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be at the Venetian, so let's go to the Wynn. We have arrived at the Wynn/Encore property to play the $550, $100,000 guaranteed. Definitely my home casino where I'm most comfortable, so not too upset that I had to leave the Venetian. We're gonna hop right in the action with about 75 blinds. One day event. Let's get this trophy in about 14, 15 hours. It's gonna feel great. Let's get it. With blinds at 300, 600, 600, I'm under the gun with pocket sixes. I've been sitting down for just over an hour and I've played 0 hands. That's right, 0 hands. No flops, no raises, just folding. Jack 3, 9, 3, deuce 7, all those beauties. Easy game. We pick up sixes under the gun, so we min raise to 1,200. Everybody folds but the big blind. The flop comes King 9, 7 rainbow. He checks. We bet 1,500 and he calls. At this point, I'm putting him on 7x, 9x, King X, or a whole lot of straight draws. 10-8 off, Queen Jack, Jack 10, Queen 10. All those are valid hands that he's going to defend and call one or possible more bets. When the turn brings an offsuit 4, he checks again, and it's time to imply that we're going to play for stacks.
Turn right onto Hotel Rio Drive.
So we bet 3,500 with 8,000 behind, and he puts in the call. That's a problem. Let's pray he's still got a draw. The river bricks and our sixes are good. The river is a 5, so 8-6 did get there. But not too worried about that.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Hotel Rio Drive.
He checks, we check, and he shows King 10 suited. Guess he wasn't gonna fold to the river jam. The blinds at 400, 800, 800. Action folds to us in the cutoff. We have ace 3 offsuit. Pretty marginal shove, but ace should be profitable in this spot with 2,000 in the middle. We shove, the button calls, and he shows ace king offsuit. The board comes out 9, 6, 7. The turn is a 6. You know we're gonna chop. No, we're not. It's a 7 or 8 on the river. No chop, no love, no luck at the Wynn. It's 4 o'clock, so we're gonna max late reg at the Rio World Series of Poker, deep stack, $250 buy-in. 3 properties in one day. Let's find some run good somewhere. With blinds at 400, 800, the 100 ante, under the gun plus 2 limps. We have 20,000 chips, and we look down at pocket aces. That's right, the best starting hand in no limit hold'em. I love aces. So we make it 2,500. Everybody folds but the limper. The flop comes queen, jack, 6. He checks. We bet 3,000, and he calls. 2 diamonds on the flop. Turn is a 5 of diamonds, completing the flush. We do not have a diamond. He checks, and we check. The river is a 6, and he leaves out 7,500. Is he betting his queen? Did he miss with 9-10, or did he just hit a flush or trips? Got to gamble in these dailies, so we put in the call. Our hand is under-repped after checking the turn, and he shows king 10 of diamonds. Table is astonished at what a nice hand he made and what a big draw he had on the flop. And we have 8,000 chips. With blinds at 400, 800, there's a limp under the gun from chip leader at the table with 100K. Action folds to the hijack, who raises to 2,500. I'm next to act with pocket 5s and 10,000 chips. Probably should fold this, but we're here to gamble. We're all in. Under the gun, limper snap calls the all in, as well as the original raiser. So we're 3 ways with over 30,000 in the pot. Flop comes ace, ace, 6. Check, check. Turn is a 9. Under the gun bets 5K. Other guy folds. Under the gun throws one card high in the air so it almost falls off the table, and it is an ace. So it's not dead, unfortunately, but it doesn't really matter because the other card is an ace. The table is jubilant and euphoric upon seeing the flopped quads. Of course, my 5s are drawing dead, and I'm out of the 260 or 250 daily. The 4 p.m. daily started 1 hour ago. My buddy's still in the 1 p.m., so we're gonna late reg that. See if we can bust 3 tournaments in 1 day. Never give up. With blinds at 100, 200, 200, big blind ante, I'm under the gun with pocket 10s. I make it 600. Action player calls in middle position, who hasn't folded pre-flop yet, and the blinds call. Flop comes ace, jack, 10, 2 clubs, 1 heart. I bet 1,200. Action player calls, and the blinds fold. Turn is a 6 of hearts. I think if I check, he's going to bet almost 100%, so we check it to him. I'm setting up the check raise on this wet double flush draw board. He's never folding an ace or a pair and straight draw, so let's let him bet it. I check, and he checks. The river is an ace of hearts, a beautiful card. He definitely would have bet any 2-pair ace combos. So I bet 3,000. He snap jams, and I call. He shows king 6 of hearts, right, king 5 of hearts. He hit a flush, and we double up to 30,000. We're on first break. With blinds at 400, 800, 800. An Asian male, age 21, 260, raises it up to 2,200. I'm in the big blind with queen 10 off, so I defend. The flop comes jack 9, 5, 2 diamonds. Great flop for me, but probably a good flop for him too. We check. He bets very small on such a wet board, 1,500. My gut tells me to check raise, but for some reason I think a call is fine, you know, with the overcard and nut straight draw. Definitely trap him if we get there. Turn is an offsuit 4. We check, and he bets 4,400. We're not getting the best price to chase our draw, but I think we can rep the flush draw if it hits the river, and possibly a jack. So we call. The river is a jack. So, if I did have a jack here, I probably would lead out and play out of flow because I don't want him to check back any of his 2-pair type hands. That way he can also bluff catch and call with his 2-pair type hands, or just fold them. Either way is fine. So I lead out 8,000, and he goes deep into the tank. He has about 30,000 behind, and eventually he puts in the call. I show my hand, he thinks for 5 seconds or so, and then reveals 6-4 of hearts for bad 2-pair, and looks at me and says, 8,000? You bet more, I fold. You bet more, I fold. Oh, really? Is that what you do? I didn't say anything. I just stared at him. And he continued with his victory speech and said, I knew you had Queen 10. I put you on Queen 10. Really stroking his ego. I remained silent and just gave him the death stare. As he dragged the pot and felt very proud about his gambling addiction finally paying off. Shout out to him. We're now on break with about 10 blinds. My buddy's deep in the 2:51 p.m. So even if I lose this shortly, which is very likely, I can rail him to victory, hang around the Rio, and make his trip to Vegas a very pleasant experience. So good luck to Derek. Usually I'll talk shit back to them until they shut up and stop chirping. But in this case, I remained silent, and I regret it. Never gonna happen again. Never gonna take the high road again and just let them feel good about themselves. Of course, after I lose the Queen 10 hand, I fold every hand for 90 minutes, blinding off, all the way down to 8,000 before it gets folded to me in the cutoff at 1,000 or 500, 1,500, 1,500, 10-6 offsuit. Hopefully I can get a shove through. Button immediately calls my shove with King Jack. Of course I don't suck out, and I'm out of the daily 200. Pretty tilting, and of course 21 to 6-year-old Asian guy goes on a heater and is just having the time of his life while I sit there and fold. That is the pain of tournament poker. The opposite of that is when you're winning every pot, having a good time, and you're in the zone. Hopefully I can learn from this experience and do better tomorrow. I'll be playing the Planet Hollywood $600 Goliath. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. See you guys next time. And that is how you bust 3 tournaments in one day. Feels bad, man. Try again tomorrow. Tournament poker.